Final race of the night here for the Touring Car Championship and Motive here at Oulton Park on the international circuit. Obviously tonight races 34, 35 and 36 of the season. This particular race 36, but tonight round 12 altogether with 3 races per round, and it's been exciting at night so far. Currently, as things stand though, it's been Jay losing the most points out of the championship rivals. With an unfortunate P6 in that second race. Cobb, though, has been on fire here tonight and has managed to take points out of his championship rivals. Obviously, that 62-point deficit will be painstaking for him, but he's definitely been making inroads in it tonight. But we're only going to have 2 rounds left after this season, so it's... I mean, he's keeping it mathematical at this point, but potentially, I think that it's so mathematically unlikely that it's hypothetical, but nonetheless got to keep trying. But yeah, John Boy I think a little way clear in the standings now. Obviously we'll know for sure once they're updated, but it's definitely going to be a tall task I think for anybody to overhaul John Boy now at this point in the season. But obviously this is the final race of the night. This is the pre-race practice. Beforehand it will be a reverse grid, the grid order based on the results from the previous race that we had just now. So obviously race 1 is a reverse grid based on the championship standings. Race 3's grid order is a reverse grid based on the results from race 2. And obviously the one we had just now, the second race, the grid was based on a qualifying which happened just before. So this practice session majorly inconsequential, apart from maybe the driver's first and only opportunity to get some running in where the track is cooling down, but saying that the actual race is held in game an hour later than this, so it will have cooled down even more, so it gives you a bit of an idea compared to where you were before, but you know, still probably a little way off of the conditions that they're actually going to be facing in a few minutes time. But nonetheless, always good to get yourself back out there if you had a bad second race, get some laps in and get some confidence back in the car. Maybe if you want to try something different with the setup, have a little fiddle. If it goes well, use it. If it doesn't, make sure you've saved your old one. Got Freddie in the comments. Yo, Andy, what's up? Says Freddie. Hello, Freddie. Good to see you. How's it going? You big fan of the touring cars, Freddie? Either real life or on this game? I know it's always some of the most exciting racing on Project Cars too, but the touring cars are always very, very tight and generally a very clean bunch as well, these guys, so you get some of the best racing on the channel, some of the closest racing on the channel indeed. So big fan of PC2. Have you got PC2, Freddie? You'd be more than welcome to join if you're up for it. I mean, obviously you might have to do a significant amount of practice to be able to match these guys, but yeah, it's worth a go. I mean, I'm driving on the controller nowadays, and I'm 2 seconds off of the pace. I used to be quite competitive. I used to be, you know, pretty okay at Project Cars 2 on the wheel, but since setting my will, I'm basically nowhere now. I was actually thinking of joining. Yeah, definitely worth a go. I'd say it's it's good fun, and it's a great community as well from Project Cars 2. Everybody's very helpful and kind and courteous, and yeah, it's just a really friendly sort of vibe. Oh, there we go. We're plugged in. There we go. So, one formation lap before we get underway, guys. It'll be a reverse grid as we said before, based on the championship standings. No. I'm thinking of the first race. Apologies, not the championship standings. I mean the reverse grid based on the results from the second race. That's the one. So yeah, we just flip the order. And essentially, that will be it. That will be the way we line up from the second race. That is. Here we are then, guys. We're just getting ready to go for the formation lap here to kick off the final race of the night. You can see now we're definitely in the dark. Everyone's headlights on as they should be in these sorts of conditions. It's not always easy to see where the car in front is. Obviously, sunset has began in earnest here at Oulton Park on this Project Cars 2 game. Still getting used to this Discord layout, everyone. Has anybody else noticed it's a bit challenging? So used to being able to swipe one way and it does something, and then just, yeah, it's just a bit weird. Nonetheless, guys, here we are coming into Druid's Corner on this formation lap for the final race of the night. Getting ready to go for the final time here, at least this evening. And it's going to be exciting here with this reverse grid. Anything can happen here. Freddie saying, looks like New Year's lights with the cars. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I never understood how people watch races in the dark. Yeah, to be fair, it's not too. I mean, it's not too dark. It's kind of there's a beacon of light. Still, it's at sunset, so it's twilight. But it's not easy. But nonetheless, into Old Hall Corner we come on the first racing lap here as we've got Jay looking down here. Oh no, and there's contact there between Ozzy and Jay as Ozzy runs a little bit wide, but they managed to get through all unscathed there. That was a close call there from them as Ozzy was trying to get on. Sorry, Jay was trying to get on with it, and Ozzy Albie there was unfortunately got tagged, but managed to hold on to it nicely there as we come through Cascades here on the opening lap. And it's Ollie leading from Pot the Brown with Park there running in third place as Pot the Brown already lining up a move here on Ollie coming into Island Bend. Is this going to be job done here for him? Ollie with a big slide there in that BMW. He really is struggling tonight in that thing as they come into shallow hairpin. Pop looking to the outside here of Pot the Brown, but can't make anything happen there. Has to wait in that one, but Doris Steer behind them with Big Blue in 5th ahead of Jay, followed by Aussie Albie, John Boy, Team MW and Dirt Rally completing the top 10. You've got Craig and Cobb at the back running in 12th place. Craig not having the best start to this race, dropped down a few places here. But Ollie leading, coming down towards his stops here for the first time at racing speeds. The BMW here appears to have settled down a little bit now. Maybe it's starting to get its tyres up to temperature a little bit, but that formation, that would have definitely cost him a little bit in terms of his pressures and his temperatures here. As Aussie looking like he's dropped down the order. He's made a mistake there. Aussie running wide coming out of Hislops and is down to 12th place here, so not the best of starts there for Aussie Albie in this race. That's given JP6 as he's on the rear of the lead pack at the moment. Ollie currently leading that lead pack as they come out of Druids here. Potter Brown with a little bit of a wide run there coming out of Druids. He's now going to have Park Pooper looking to his inside, coming down towards Lodge Corner, and Park Pooper Rex down the inside here of Potter Brown into the final corner. Potter Brown trying to hold it around the outside, gets sideways there with Potter Brown. Park Pooper didn't manage to get it done because he lost out to Thoris. Thoris is attacking now on Potter Brown, so Thoris Steer could be about to gain 2 places in the space of a couple hundred metres here. Thoris Steer on the inside of Potter Brown. Is this going to be dropped down here into Old Hall Corner? Bit of contact there between them. Thoris Steer muscles him out of the way there, and Thoris Steer up into 2nd place. Nicely done there from him, as you've got Park Pooper just behind with Jay there in 5th ahead of Big Blue, and then John Boy, TMW, Dirt Rally, Craig at the back of this pack at the moment. In fact, no, Cobb's the one at the back of the pack, as somebody's run wide there. Dirt Rally doing a bit of off-roading again there. Sorry, Dirt Rally, I can't help myself. Big Blue also having a bit of a moment there. So Big Blue and Dirt Rally dropping out down to 11th and 12th places. That promotes Aussie up into 10th place. Ollie here coming through Sherlock hairpin. It's got Doris all over the back of him. Less than a second between them two. They're gapping Potter Brown a little bit now. So Ollie showing that he has some decent pace here tonight. It's a shame that his consistency hasn't been there in the first 2 races, but he's got the pace, that's for sure. But he's currently, him and Doris currently gapping everybody else at the moment out the front with their reverse grid positions. But nonetheless, we ride on. Let's jump on board with Doris Steer here. This is the battle for the lead as they come into Hislops. As Ollie there just tagging the curve a little bit on the inside. Doris trying to creep a little bit closer here. Currently, these two doing a good job here at the front. Potter Brown here has got Park Pooper also all over the back of him. Jay is right on these as well here, so he's made quick progress here through the pack in this opening few laps. John Boy though right with him as well. John Boy's had a really good passage here through the pack so far. He's gained 2 places here in this opening 2 laps of the race. As you've got Park Pooper here looking to try and get a run on Potter Brown coming out of Druids down towards Lodge Corner we go. Is Park Pooper going to complete this move into Lodge Corner this time around? Potter Brown again going late on the brakes around the outside, but he's not going to hold that one. Potter Brown has to concede to Park Pooper, and looks like Jay's going to follow him through as well. So Jay there up into 4th place. Can John Boy get ahead of Potter Brown here as well? Potter Brown keeping it around the outside of Jay here. Jay needs to be careful. He needs to stay on the inside there, and he does so nicely. And in fact, Jay's now having a look at Park Pooper there. A bit of contact there between them. He's been a bit aggressive tonight as Jay. We've seen it, and in the last race I said he's being aggressive, and then it was at that exact moment that he went onto the grass and lost a load of places. So I'm going to try and not mention Jay being aggressive in this for the rest of this race. But Doris Steer still out the front ahead of Ollie. So in fact, Doris Steer has done Ollie up into the lead. So Doris now leading us coming through Island Bend. So hadn't noticed that one, but he's done that one obviously somewhere in the first sector there. Doris Steer, your new race leader here at Oulton Park for this final race of the night. Ollie Marr still sticking to the back of him at the moment as they're coming through in towards Britons once again. Park Pooper there still ahead of Jay with Potter Brown ahead of John Boy. There's Team MW, Craig, Cobb and Big Blue now a long way off. Has had a bit of a moment, not sure where, but he's now nowhere to be seen in this one. Dirt Rally still going in 11th place, but he is a long way back off of everybody else at the moment. Doris Steer coming into Britons here with Ollie Marr still hot in pursuit at the moment. As in the background, that was Jay getting a little bit out of shape there going through Hislops. He's still got Park Pooper on him at the moment, but Jay has made the move actually on Park Pooper. Was that him making the move? I'm not sure. Could have been him making the move. That might have been why he was sliding through the corner a little bit there. But nonetheless, Doris Steer still ahead of Ollie at the moment. There's the rest of the pack coming through Druids at the moment. Currently 9 of them separated by 3 seconds here. So it's such a tight pack as they're coming through here on lap 4 of the race. Still got a load of cars packed into a short space. Potter Brown here has got John Boy trying to go around his outside as they come into Lodge Corner. On board with John Boy is in the foreground there. You could see Ollie getting out of shape there in that yellow BMW, that very recognisable livery. It was also the livery that the only G1, the Touring Car Championship here at Motive and Project Cars 2 back in season 4. We're in season 15 now to put that into context, but John Boy there running a bit wide going out of Old Hall Corner, and Jay in the Monster Energy livery also got a bit out of shape going through the corner as well. Jay down the inside of Park Pooper into Cascades, gets that one done up into 3rd place, and now Park Pooper getting pushed out a little bit wide there of Potter Brown moving through up into 4th place there. Park Pooper losing a place down to P5. Dramatic developments here in this race. as we see them all piling through Island Bend. As Pot the Brown moving back through ahead of Part Pooper there. Part Pooper keep trying to throw one back down the inside into the shell oil. Pot the Brown a little bit wide, and Part Pooper just gives him a bit of a tap out wide there, just nudges him off onto the grass, saying, "No, sorry mate, that's not going to happen." And here we go, we've got John Boy now all over the back of Part Pooper as well here. Oh, Pot the Brown spins out. Pot the Brown loses it going through Britain's into the barriers. He goes. That's his race done. He's going to have damage on the car now as well. Pot the Brown with a bit of snap oversteer. That was all it took, and his race pretty much done and dusted here as John Boy down the inside of Part Pooper into Hislops gets that one done up into 4th place. What a classic final race of the night this is here at Motive. What a race. Doris still leading. He's got a gap now of 1.4 over Ollie Marr. Ollie Marr currently sat in second ahead of Jay. Could Doris Steer, I've said this many times in the past, could Doris Steer be on the cusp of taking his first ever race win here at Motive Racing? Could it happen here tonight? I'd say it's not completely beyond the realms of possibility here. So here we come over the line to complete lap 5 of the race. It's still Doris from Molly with Jay there in 3rd place. There's John Boy ahead of Part Pooper, Team MW, Craig, Cobb, Big Blue, Dirt Rally running in P10 at the moment with Pot the Brown a long way off. But Jay now has made the move into 2nd place ahead of Ollie. That's crucial here for Jay. And Jay will be wanting to gain as much points as he can here, especially with John Boy struggling. John Boy! Oh, wait, that's Big Blue. Where's John Boy? John Boy's in 4th. John Boy's in 4th. Big Blue, though, losing it going through out of Cascades, or rather into Cascades, down to 9th place. But John Boy actually not having too bad of a race here in 4th place. So he's currently on the back of Ollie, looking to try and follow Jay through. Jay trying to gap him, put some daylight here between himself and John Boy. Jay is now bringing a gap down to Thoris very quickly indeed here. He's wasting no time in getting onto the back of the leader. As there they all are going through Britain's. Big gap back to Big Blue, but the top 8 still separated by just 3 seconds here. This is nip and tuck between all these drivers. As here goes John Boy down the inside of Ollie into Hislops, and that's job done there for John Boy up into 3rd place. Out of Knickerbrook we come. So we're going to have 3 more laps after this one that we're currently on. So like the first 2 races, it's going to be a 9-lap race. I can't remember if the first race was 9 laps, it might have been 10 actually, but nonetheless, here are the leaders coming down towards Lodge Corner again. Part Pooper looking all over the back of Ollie. Oh, and it's contact as Ollie loses it there and goes into the side of Part Pooper, and also that was another driver got collected in that melee there as well. I think Craig was caught up in it. Yes, he was. Craig managed to get caught up in that one. And Part Pooper I think as well. So Ollie, Craig, Part Pooper, Pot the Brown wasn't in that one anyway. Cobb down to P6 in all of that kerfuffle. But Doris Steer still out the front leading ahead of Jay. John Boy not far off of these. Could make this a 3-hour battle for the lead here. Team MW managed to get through the pile up there. 4th currently in this race. Big Blue running in P5 has managed to also avoid most of the carnage. So did Cobb by the looks of it. Ollie obviously the catalyst of that mass exodus there. Is running in 7th place. You've got Part Pooper there in 8th ahead of Pot the Brown, and Craig there running in 10th place with huge damage from that one. Craig was the man who wrong place, wrong time there. The worst place at the worst time. But let's watch the battle for the lead here, because this one's still very much on the table at the moment. Jay trying to pile this pressure here on the back of Doris Steer. John Boy in the background flashing his lights here, doing everything he can to try and get in ahead of these two. But Doris Steer currently is trying to win his first race ever at Motive. But we know that Jay and John Boy would dearly love to spoil the party, not because they're not out of spite, but because they're both in a championship battle and every point counts. Neither of these two are going to be going soft on Doris. They are going to be pushing him all the way to the flag and hoping they can find a gap to get through into the lead. As John Boy was throwing a feint to the inside of Jay there going into Lodge Corner, but can't do anything. It's still Doris Steer leading the race as they come over the line here to finish lap 7. 2 laps left to go here for the final race of the night. Can Doris Steer do it here at Oulton Park tonight in the sunset? As we're coming into the final few races of this season, John Boy's got a nice run there coming out of Old Hall Corner, looking to the outside here of Jay in towards Cascades, but Jay's going to cover that inside line off. And I tell you what, this could be what Doris Steer needs. If John Boy can put the pressure here on the back of Jay, this might slow him down sufficiently enough to to take up most of Jay's attention, and then that might give Doris a chance to just disappear off into the distance here. But where it's a big if, because Jay's going to be pushing as hard as he can to keep himself in with a chance of taking this win here tonight. Jay having to defend here. John Boy's looking around the outside of shallow hairpin. Bit of a flash again from John Boy. Bit of bravado there. Just saying, come on, Jay, is that all you got, mate? But currently Jay's holding on to the position, so nothing really John Boy can say in that regard at the moment. Here we come down the straight towards the Hislops once again. John Boy to the outside here. Is he going to go around the long way here of Jay? No, he's not. Thinks better at that one again. Oh, Jay's gone deep, very, very deep into Hislops. John Boy with a cut back there. He's going to get ahead of him, filling it around the outside into Hislops, and John Boy up into second place. That was a routine move there from him. He just waited for the mistake there. He forced Jay into a bit of a defensive move. Jay went deep into Hislops. Couldn't get it right for Knickerbrook, and that was John Boy up into second place. Now Jay returning the favour and flashing his lights at John Boy. John Boy is now going to be focusing on what's ahead of him in the shape of Doris Deer, but Doris Deer being let off the hook a little bit here. Has now got a 7/10 gap, and these two continue to battle behind him. Will give him that lifeline that could potentially see him take his first ever win here at Motive. Here we come out of Lodge Corner once again. Jay looking to the outside now of John Boy. Down the straight we go. John Boy defending the inside line once again here. What's going to happen into turn one? Just as Jay trying to go around the outside of John Boy, and he's got a bit of momentum there as Jay. Oh, I tell you what, that would be, yeah, I don't know about that one, Jay. That to me was, yeah, that wasn't, no, I wouldn't say that's a fair move in my eyes. He's up into second place. He did that by off-roading. In my eyes, that's not a fair move. Doris Deer, though, nonetheless, take nothing away from him, because he's currently leading the race on the final lap of the race. Can he just see this one out? Can he hold on? He's just got to keep it on the grey stuff here for this final half a lap. Jay's still got John Boy all over him here as they come down towards Britain's. John Boy with a bit of a slide there going through Britain's. Here he's still all over the back of Jay right now. Doris Deer leading, coming down towards Hislops here for the final time. And John Boy throwing the kitchen sink at Jay, which is going to help Doris even more. He just needs to tiptoe around these final few corners. Cobb's going to be a proud man, not having the best race here in fifth, but the man who he brought onto Project Cars 2, his good friend obviously in real life and protege here on this game, currently looks like he's going to be taking a win. As long as he can get it through these last few corners here. Into Druids we go. Doris Deer safely through. He's just got to negotiate Lodge now. Jay in the meantime seems to be holding on here from John Boy. John Boy flashing his lights, trying to force Jay into a mistake. He's looking to the inside into the Lodge corner, but he's going to be too far back to send it from there. The other two getting it safely through. Doris a bit wide, but he gets it through. He's coming up towards the line, and Doris Deer is going to take his first ever victory here at Motive Racing. Congratulations, Doris Deer. His first win in the World Touring Car Championship tonight at Oulton Park. What a fantastic drive. Really, really good composure there he showed in the final few laps. Jay takes second ahead of John Boy, who completes the podium. Cobb looks like he nabbed Team MW to fourth place there at the end. Team MW over in fifth ahead of Big Blue, who takes P6. Potter Brown is going to come over the line in seventh place here, just ahead of Park Hooper, who crosses the line in eighth. But what a finish that was. Doris Deer taking his first ever win tonight at Motive Racing, and it's been a long time coming. He's been in the league now for over a year, but you know, persistence and patience quite often it does pay off, and he's managed to do it here tonight. Well done to Doris Deer. So Doris Deer, Jay and John Boy, your podium finished here for tonight. And to the drivers watching us back afterwards, if you did enjoy, then please do share it with your friends, families and otherwise associates. And yeah, Doris Deer, Jay, John Boy, but Doris Deer, pat on the back to him, fantastic job. But from us, it's a very good night. Make sure you join us next week for the touring cars. We'll be back at the same time as always, 8:30 PM UK time, as we always are here on Project Cars 2 on a Thursday night. And next week will be the penultimate round of the season. The rounds are ticking away here for this season. And next week we will be at Silverstone Classic, which has actually been the finale a few times. So join us next week, and yeah, see you all very, very soon. Good night.